How does life begin? Imagine a place so small, so hidden that no one can see it, and yet inside that tiny space, a story begins. The story of a human life. Every month, deep inside the ovary, a single cell is released, which is egg. It quietly waits. At the same time, millions of sperms begins a difficult journey, swimming, struggling, facing obstacles at every step. But only one out of millions reaches the egg, and in one extraordinary moment, they fuse. Their genetic material combines half from the mother, half from the father, creating something completely new. A single cell called the zygote, and this tiny cell already carries the blueprint of a human: eye color, height, even certain traits of personality. The journey of life has begun. But this cell doesn't stay alone for long. Within hours, it begins to divide. One becomes two, two becomes four, four becomes eight. Again and again, this process is called cleavage, where the number of cells increases but the size remains the same. Soon, it becomes a small cluster like a bowl of tightly packed cells. This stage is called the morula. As it continues, a hollow space forms inside, turning it into a blastocyte. Now, something important happens. The cells begin to specialize. The inner cell will form the baby, the outer cells will form the placenta. Even at this early stage, the body is preparing and planning the future. Floating gently through the fallopian tube, this tiny structure reaches the uterus, but it can't survive on its own. It needs a place to grow. But it attaches itself to the uterine wall and slowly burrows inside. This process is called implantation. From here, it connects with the mother blood supply, receiving oxygen, nutrients, everything needed to grow. Like a seed planted into fertile soil, life begins to take root. As days pass, special organs begins to form: the placenta. This becomes the baby lifetime. Through it, oxygen flows in, nutrients are delivered, and waste is carried away. Connecting the baby to the system is the umbilical cord, a flexible bridge between two lives. Now begins the most critical phase. The cells organized into three layers. The outer layer forms the brain and skin, the middle layer forms muscles, bones, and the heart, and the inner layer forms lungs and the digestive system. In just a few months, a tiny heart forms, and then suddenly it starts beating, a soft, rhythmic pulse, marking the beginning of life moment. These are the hormone which maintains pregnancy. Small buds appear. These will grow into arms and legs. Everything is forming quietly, precisely, in perfect coordination. By the first month, the baby is just a tiny group of cells, but the foundation of the life begins. By the second month, the heart begins to beat and the brain starts developing. In the third month, the baby starts to look like a tiny human, and the embryo is now called a fetus. It begins to look like more a baby with a face, tiny fingers, and toes. The organs that formed earlier now begin to function. The heart pumps blood, the brain continues to grow, and the baby becomes more active. Facial features become clearer, and the baby grew quickly by the fourth month. As the time passes, the baby grows stronger. By the fifth month, it can move freely, stretching, kicking. Sometimes the mother can feel these movements. By the seventh month, the brain develops rapidly and the baby can even respond to sound. Light, touch, and vibrations are slowly being understood. By the ninth month, everything is ready. The lungs mature, the baby gains strength, and the baby prepares for life outside. After months of protection and growth, the moment finally arrives. The baby comes and the mother body begins labor, strong rhythmic contractions. They guide the baby forward through the birth canal, and the baby enters a completely new world for the first time. It takes a breath, the lungs expand, oxygen fills the body, and a new life begins. From a single invisible cell to a living, breathing human being, every heartbeat you feel, every thought you think started from the tiny beginning. Life is not just a process, it's a story, one that begins long before we are even born. Like, share, and subscribe if you like the video.